So we have done with division of labor. Okay, so we will start with the next theory of religion. So theory of religion. We'll start with the definition as usual, and then we will go with the causal explanation, and then we will talk about the function. Okay. What is the function of religion? There is nothing more to discuss. It is basically integration only. So we'll try to identify the function of religion. Like division of labor also, we discuss the function of division of labor as integration in the heterogeneous society. Religion also, the function he is going to discuss is the same. Okay. So what is more important here is the causal explanation. We need to explain how religion came into existence. Just like the way we understood how division of labor came into existence. Right, the way it came into existence, that is the cause. The function is different. So he separated cause and function. Division of labor, what is the cause? Struggle for existence in the present occupation. What is the function? Integration and autonomy, individual autonomy. Here also we will see the separation of cause and function. Okay, to avoid illegitimate teleology. Now when we discussed about this division of labor, where we had a short note, organic solidarity, mechanical solidarity. Similarly, here also you will be getting a short note, that is this one, sacred and profane. Sacred and profane. So this can be a 10 marker for you. This theory of religion normally will be a 20 marker for you. It could be a critically analyzed theory. It could be a comparison between Durkheim and Marx. Simply, if it is a comparison between Durkheim and Marx, how will you do that? One is conflict perspective. Religion is heart of heartless world, soul of soulless condition, and it's the opium of masses for Marx. That is using the opposite perspective. Here it is functional. It is integrating people. There, religion, the purpose is entirely different. That's part of superstructure, which is created by economic infrastructure. The role of it is to help in the functioning of economic infrastructure. So religion is basically helping the process of exploitation. It is the agent of capitalist. But here it is going to be functional. Right? So that is mainly in terms of the perspective. Just that two different perspective, two different viewpoint. One is conflict, the other is functional. Here you will see the function. There you have seen the exploitative nature of religion. Okay, so let me define this first. Okay, so religion is basically a unified system of beliefs and practices related to sacred things. So religion is a unified system of beliefs and practices related to sacred things. So we need to explain what is belief, we need to explain what is practice, we need to explain what is sacred. So three keywords. Just like when we explain social facts are the ways of acting, thinking and feeling which are external to individual and are endowed with the power of coercion by the reason of which they control over him. So you had that keywords. Similarly, here religion is a unified system of beliefs, practices related to sacred things. This is the first part of the definition. So here, this is telling you the compositional aspect of religion. What is religion is about? It is related to some beliefs and practices related to some sacred things, related to God. I'll come to this. There is the second part of this. He will explain this, that is to say, things set apart and forbidden. Things set apart and forbidden. So he is basically saying religion is a unified system of beliefs and practices related to some sacred things. Then he is saying what is sacred? Sacreds are those things which are set apart and are considered forbidden. Like we discussed something like fetishes when we discussed about Marx in Alienation, a sense of distance that you maintain. Similarly, here the sacred things means it's something supernatural. So you maintain a sense of distance, like some, idol worship. You maintain a sense of distance, right? Or your god, right? That is what you mean by sacred things. And there are certain beliefs and practices related to sacred things. I'll come to this. So this is the first part of the definition. Religion is a unified system of beliefs, practices related to sacred things. That is to say, things set apart and forbidden. So he's saying religion is a system of beliefs and practices related to sacred. So there is sacred. Now what is sacred? Those things which are set apart from you and are considered forbidden. You maintain a sense of distance. You have a sense of fear, like your god, the idol worship that you worship, right? Even cow. If you go to North India, you maintain a sense of distance. You consider it as god. Okay. Now the second part of this is, in the definition itself, he explained the function. Okay, so religion is a unified system of beliefs and practices related to sacred things. Then he says what is sacred? Things which are set apart and considered forbidden. And those who follow the same beliefs and practices will be united under a single moral community called church. All those who adhere to them. Means you are following same beliefs and practices, all of you. You belong to one community, Hindu. So you all are together. So those who follow the same beliefs and practices, they are united in terms of single moral community. If you follow the same beliefs and practices that the Islam have, you are united under that beliefs, practices, under that moral community, under that religion, all those who follow that. So this is a technical definition. In that you will see these kinds of words, all those who adhere to them. And he is using the term church to explain the moral community. That's different. Normally church means he is living in that area. So it is Europe. So normally he is considering that as church. But here it will be different. Multiplicity of religion is there. So I repeat this. Religion is a system of, unified system of beliefs and practices. Belief, practices related to sacred things. That is to say, what is sacred? Things set apart and considered forbidden. And those who follow the same beliefs and practices, they are united. You follow the same beliefs and practices, you are united under a single moral community. You form a community. It's called church. Church means in that context. All those who adhere to them means all those who follow the same God, simple. Same beliefs and practices will be together. So that is the functional aspect. So the definition contained two aspects. One is the compositional aspect. I will write here. So he is basically explaining the composition of religion here. It is related to beliefs and practices related to sacred. That is a composition of religion. Second part of the definition, that is a function of religion. Those who follow the same beliefs and practices will be united under a single moral community called church, all those who adhere to them. Now I'll explain each of these. Okay. So, what is sacred? Sacred means, simply you can understand like this. These are considered as something supernatural, which are kept apart from you, which you consider as forbidden, which you worship, which you see with a sense of fear. You maintain a sense of distance. You treat with greater respect. Right? Idol worship, simple example. That's what? Sacred. Right? Now, what do you mean by belief? Beliefs and practices related to sacred things. Belief means what? There are certain ideas which explain the sacred, right? There will be some values that will be carried in your mind, which will be transferred from the society, from your family, from traditional beliefs that you carry about, that's sacred. These are ideas, the myth. Raman, Ravan and all these, what are these? These are stories, these are ideas, these are myth. Right? Ram, Ravan, Sita and all these, Ayodhya, Langa, all these are what? These are myths, these are stories, these are ideas that you carry. Okay, so these are beliefs. Simple, belief means what we carry in our mind about supernatural force, about the sacred. Belief, what do you mean by practices? Practices are the actions that you do connected to sacred. Means you perform prayers, worship, right? That's the practices. You worship, you go to the church, you go to temple, you go to masjid, you offer namaz, you pray, right? All these are what you mean by practices. Practices related to sacred things. Belief means the ideas that we have about the sacred. It is in our mind. How we get that? From our family, from religious institutions. We get that, we carry that. And it will be transferred to the next generation also. These are ideas about the sacred. Practices, something which we do. The rites and the rituals you perform. So what is practices? The rites, rituals, etc. Now the practices can be two types. Negative rites and positive. Positive means when you do these rites and rituals, you'll be happy, you'll be calm, you'll feel good, like you worship God. When you are under pressure, just before exam, you may go to church, sit just in front of Jesus Christ and you pray, right? You feel relaxed. If I don't know about all, but many people do that at least. Why you do that? You will feel relaxed, right? You'll go to church and you go to masjid or you go to temple. You feel relaxed. So the positive rites, these are positive rites when you're worshipping the God. This reduce the distance between you and God. Worshipping means you are actually communicating with the God. It actually reduces the distance between you and God. So what do you mean by positive rites? Worshipping, simple example. Something which, the rites and the rituals which reduce the distance between you and God. You and sacred. Don't use the term God, sacred. So positive rites or rituals are those practices which reduce the distance between you and sacred. Then what will be negative? That reinforce the distance. God is God or sacred is sacred, you are this. So that reinforce that distance or keep that distance. Worshipping is reducing the distance, right? Fasting. You are sacrificing, right? And sacrifices. Fasting you are forced to do. You want to eat, especially Muslims, morning 6 o'clock to 6 o'clock. You want to eat, you want to drink, but you can't. You are forced to. So that is kind of negative. Actually that distance is reinforced. That God is God, you are you. Sacrifices, animal sacrifice or whatever. Okay. So, you understood now? Religion is what? Unified system of beliefs and practices related to sacred things. What is sacred? Those things which are set apart and considered forbidden. So sacred is nothing but that supernatural. You consider the supernatural things. Okay, which you consider fetishes, which you maintain a distance, which you respect, which you worship. That's what sacred. നിങ്ങളുടെ ദൈവം അത്ര തന്നെ സിമ്പിൾ. നിങ്ങൾ വെച്ച് ആരാധിക്കുന്ന പ്രതിമ, whatever, the idol worship if you're doing. Okay. What is beliefs? The ideas about sacred. Any religion, ideas are there with respect to sacred. Whether you take Saraswati, whether you take Lakshmi or any Devis and Devadas or goddesses or gods, there are some beliefs and myths and stories that you have. That is what? Beliefs. Practices, the rites and the rituals that you perform. And that is again two types. Positive, negative. Positive, reduce the distance between you and sacred. Worshipping is the example. That's a direct communication with the God. Right? The other one, negative, is the forced, that is maintaining the distance between you and God. Example? Sacrifices, fasting, all these are examples. Now, I told you sacred and profane, right? So what is profane? Now, when if you're getting a short note, sacred and profane, sacred is the supernatural, profane is everything other than supernatural. Simply, you go to a temple, you see the idol, you worship that, Devis or Devdas, that is sacred. Rest of the things that you see in temple, you might be seeing a tap to wash your legs, right? All these are profane. Okay, supernatural and not supernatural. Rest of the things are profane. So this world and other world you can consider. Both cannot be together. If one is profane, it cannot be sacred. If one is sacred, it cannot be profane. Then he is sacred. Then he can never be a normal Amritanandamai, considered as sacred by many, not all, and cannot be considered as a normal human being. Is it possible? No. Those people who consider Satya Sai Baba and all as sacred, they can't consider him as a normal human being, even if he get cardiac arrest or heart attack like anyone, but people won't consider like that. Right? That's it. That's about the basic concept of religion. What we did now, we just explained the definition. Can we now move with the course? That's the most interesting part. Causal explanation of religion. See, again, when we discussed the cause of division of labor, he explained with the help of a primitive society. From primitive society, evolutionary perspective. So here again, he is taking, talking from primitive society, and he is talking about primitive religion. See, the problem is, if I try to explain the cause of modern religion, Christianity or Hinduism or Islam or any modern religion, Jews or whatever, the issue is that these religion is now, it's like, firstly, so much heterogeneity is there, right? And so much of, from that itself, so much of sect and cult has been formed already. Within Hinduism also different groups is there. Within Islam also, Shia, Sunni, different groups are there, right? So it is going to be very, these religions are very complex. So to explain this also is very complex. So what he did is, instead of studying modern religion, he considered to study a traditional religion. Now why he is doing that is because this method is called as indirect experiment. They'll ask you this. Indirect experiment. So indirect experiment is nothing but, in this case, instead of studying the modern religion, which is very much heterogeneous, which is very much complex, you can study a traditional religion and establish the cause of traditional religion. The same will be the cause when these modern religion came into existence. The cause will be same, according to Emile Durkheim. Right? So you find a traditional religion which is within your limits so that you can easily understand the cause, which is not so complex. Then you establish the cause of that. For example, you find a religion X. Establish the cause of this religion, same will be the cause of all religion, according to Durkheim. Social function, social cause. So what is indirect experiment? Here in this case, instead of studying modern religion, which is very much heterogeneous, very complex. Why it is complex? Because from this religion itself, so much of groups have formed already. Different sect and cult has been formed. Right? Whether Sunnis are correct or Shia is correct is not clear. Again, from Hinduism also different groups have formed. Within Christianity also you can see Roman Catholic and Latin Catholic and all these Orthodox, different groups are there. Right? So within that, already from religion, there are multiple religions. Within this religion, again, there are so much of sect, cult, groups are there. So that makes it very complex to study that, to study the modern religion. So instead of studying modern religion, what you need to do? Study a very simple form of religion, You just need to study religion only, right? Your objective is what? Establish the cause of religion. You don't want to study modern religion. You don't want to study complex religion. You study a simple religion, understand the cause of it. That will be the same as the cause when these religion also came into existence. But we may say different cause. Islam came into existence because of this prophet, and Christianity came into existence because of Jesus Christ, and all. We have different context, but this story is what, according to Durkheim, this could be the reason for all religion. So what he is going to do, instead of studying the modern, heterogeneous, complex religion, study a simpler form of religion and establish the cause of simple elementary religion. Same will be the cause of all religion. Got it? And for this, he chose Arunda tribes from Australian Aboriginals. So he chose this Arunda tribes, very primitive, and the religion that they practice is the most simple religion, that is totemic. Totemic means what? Totem means what? No? Totem means the idol. Not necessarily idol, even I can worship a river. That is also considered as totem. I can worship a tree. If tree, mate movie under Amir Khan PK alle. But the next day, religion. So that is what? Exactly, totemic. You create something, right? Even a stone can be totem. People will start worshipping. A tree can be worshipped. In fact, tree is worshipped. That is our tradition also. I'm not talking about that, but I'm just explaining totem. Totem means it could be an idol, it could be a stone, it could be a river, it could be a tree, it could be an animal. Okay. So the religion practiced among them is totemic. And this is the most simpler form of religion according to him. So what he want to do is, he want to study the cause of this so that the cause of other religion also will be same. This is what we are going to do. So he chose Arunda tribes by referring to ethnographies. Ethnographies means what? Various writings and all those, okay? Various other studies. So one of the criticism, I can discuss this later, ethnographies. One of the criticism is basically this itself. He never went to Arunda tribes. He never experienced that. He just referred to some ethnographies and he made his theory. So the criticism is like this. The theory is there in his mind even before he take up the analysis. This is what the conclusion he wanted and he gave this. This is the criticism. Let's do that later. But as of now, everything is clear. Beliefs and practices is clear. Sacred is clear. When I say things are set apart and forbidden, it is clear. United under a single moral community is clear. That is a functional part. So to find the cause, why he is selecting the traditional religion or a primitive tribe or this totemic religion, why not the modern religion? Because modern religion is so heterogeneous, so complex and so different. So what is this called? This approach is called indirect experiment. Instead of studying the modern religion, study the primitive, the easiest one, establish the cause of that, same will be the cause here. Indirect experiment, or it is also known as single case experiment. I'll make you write, don't worry about it. Indirect experiment. So what is indirect experiment? Instead of studying the complex one, study the simple one, establish the cause of this, same will be the cause here. And he chose Arunda tribes, totemic. Now things are very simple. What he says is, the primitive men are wanderers. Wanderers means you roam around, right? You travel. Primitive men means you are living in jungle. You don't have a fixed place to stay. You don't have house. You don't have family. You just roam around. You collect things. You come together. Sometimes you'll come together with all of others and exchange things with others. right? So that is what the idea, the conception of primitive men. Primitive men are wanderers, means they just roam around, they collect the things that they get. People will collect honey, people will collect timber and all those, right? Minor timbers and all those, and whatever you get from the jungle, fruits, right? So this is the idea that he is giving. And occasionally they come together. You go in your own way, but you'll come together once at some place. Okay? So primitive men are wanderers. Occasionally come together. Now when they are together, it is different compared to when they are alone. When you are together, what you will do? You will enjoy, you will celebrate, you will sing, you will dance, right? You will celebrate simply. Correct? So this, you feel good or bad? Good compared to when you are single, right? So primitive men are wanderers. They are in search of their food, their whatever they want from the jungle, they collect. Occasionally they come together, they celebrate that moments, they sing, they dance, they exchange things, right? All those will happen. Exchange things that they have collected. And Durkheim terms this moment as state of exaltation, a kind of extreme happiness that you get. Okay, so this gives them a state of, you'll get it like MDMA, you'll go to a Kanjav state of that is what he's talking about, state of exaltation. Or another term that he is using is collective effervescence. Idakku inverted comma aanu, very important words. State of exaltation means you are in a very happy mode. Collective effervescence, together you are happy. So this much is okay. Primitive men wanderers, they collect things, occasionally they come together. When they come together, they celebrate, they exchange things, and this moment is what Durkheim called as state of exaltation or collective effervescence. Now after this they are separate, right? But when they were together, they felt very happy. But when they are separate, again they are back to the normal life. And don't you think that they'll have a feeling of re-experience this? Yes, they will. Of course, when you have that, we all want to re-experience that feeling again. So when these people started explaining this happiness or state of exaltation in terms of some supernatural force which was present during the time when they were gathered. So primitive men explained the happiness that they got, the state of exaltation or the collective effervescence in terms of some supernatural force which was present when they were together. Do you want me to repeat? Primitive alkar engane idine interpret cheyidunu vechayal, there were some supernatural force which was present there. Avaru evideyanu meet cheythathu, avade supernatural force undayirunnu. Aa supernatural force aanu reason for their happiness, their this state of exaltation or collective effervescence. So what Durkheim says is, the primitive men's logic, they explained this happiness in terms of some supernatural force which was present in that area when they met or when they were together. That is the reason for the happiness or state of exaltation. Now to signify the supernatural force, they created a totem. They created a idol. So that is the representative of supernatural force. So you were together, you felt happy, they explained that happiness in terms of supernatural force. Now to signify that supernatural force, they created a totem as a representative of the supernatural force. So they created a totem. Okay. Now when you feel, when you have that again urge to re-experience that feeling, what you will do? You will come to the same area. So again you will come to the same area where the totem is present. So you will come, she will come, he will come, you will come. So everyone was coming together again. then again what will happen? The same feeling. Right? So I repeat, primitive men, wanderers, they go in search of their things, occasionally come together, they exchange the things, they celebrate, they sing, dance, whatever they want, they will do whatever they want. And this situation is what Durkheim experienced or explained as state of exaltation or collective effervescence. And the primitive men's logic is this for the happiness, that there was a supernatural force which was present when they were together at that place. As a representative of that supernatural force, they created a totem. They kept it in that area. So when why they are considering like that? Because that feeling is gone when they are disappearing, when they are going away. That feeling is, they felt the state of exaltation, that collective effervescence when they are together. But when they are separate, that feeling disappears. So what is the reason? What is the logic for them, primitive men? When you were together, there was some supernatural force. So they explained in terms of that, and they created a totem or the idol or whatever to represent that supernatural force. And what you will do again? You will come to that area again to re-experience that feeling, and you worship the totem. So actually you are coming for worship, or you want to experience that feeling? So are you really going to temple to experience the feeling of collectivity, or worshipping? Why you are going to masjid in all these BMWs and Porsches and Audis? Is it for show off or is it for worshipping? Right? So it is basically, ultimately what Durkheim says is, you are worshipping the togetherness and not the God. Or you are worshipping the collectivity and not the God. Or what he's saying is, ultimately society and God are the same, or collectivity and God are the same. So you create a totem. This is the cause of religion. The cause of religion is basically to re-experience that feeling. You created a totem and you started worshipping that. It becomes religion. That is the cause of religion. That's it. It's over. Done? Or you want me to explain again? Understood or not? Understood, right? Primitive people, wanderers. So you can just draw this diagram. I'll just complete it. That feeling disappears. Feeling disappears when they are separate. Then need to re-experience the feeling. What feeling? This feeling, state of exaltation. See, once you experience that, you want to re-experience that. So, creation of totem. That's the cause of religion. I'll repeat once again. Primitive men, wanderers, they roam around. Occasionally they come together, they exchange things, they celebrate, they sing, they dance, and during that time they feel that state of exaltation, togetherness, happiness, and Durkheim terms this as collective effervescence. And that feeling will be disappeared when they're separate again. You back to normal life, but you want to re-experience that feeling. So you explain that feeling and the happiness in terms of some supernatural force which was there when you were together. To signify that supernatural force, you create a totem. That is the cause of religion. And you start worshipping the totem, you come back again to worship the totem, you see everybody together again, you'll get that feeling again. Okay, so the totem is representative of what? Collective effervescence or that happiness or collectivity. The totem is what God ultimately, totem is what the sacred things. It is nothing but the representative of the togetherness or society. So God and society is same according to Durkheim. And even he's saying you are not worshipping God, you are actually worshipping the collectivity. രാവിലെ തന്നെ എഴുന്നേറ്റ് നല്ല അണിഞ്ഞൊരുങ്ങി ടെമ്പിളിലൊക്കെ പോകുന്ന എന്തിനാ? ഷോ ഓഫ് ഓർ വാട്ട്? അല്ലെങ്കിൽ നോർമലായിട്ട് പോയാൽ പോരെ? It is to experience that togetherness, collectivity, talk to people, show off. So much of things are involved in that. Worshipping may be this one part, but rest of it, the societal aspect is more. And mostly if you see those who are very social only, they'll go. Mostly. Right? Okay, so that's about the course. So we have done with the definition, we have done with the course. Now, function. Function is very simple. Definition itself is there. Those who are following the same beliefs and practices will be united under the single moral community. Means you follow the same beliefs and practices related to the same totem or religion, you will be together. You follow the practices of Islam, all these members will be together. You follow the practices of Christianity, you will be together. You follow the practices of Hinduism, you will be together. That means one religion, you will be together. But different religion, that create problem. That is a different thing. That criticism is given by Merton. Merton says multiplicity of religion create conflict. Between religion, conflict. Within religion, okay, you can say people are together. But when multiple religion is there, you can't say it is integrating. Within religion, people may be together. Well, right? Okay. Durkheim's theory of, give a heading, theory of religion. Theory of religion. Durkheim theory of religion explore yet another way to study a phenomena. Hello? Yes. Yeah, who's this? Yet another way to study a phenomena which is abstract but of profound importance in society. But of profound importance in society. Profound importance in society. PROFOUND. Profound importance in society. See, there are many other explanations for religion. Psychological explanation is there. That explain religion in terms of fear. Philosophical explanation is there, right? So we discussed already division of labor. When Durkheim took up the analysis, something which was in economy becomes sociological. Similarly, religion, when Durkheim took up analysis, something which was philosophy becomes sociological. Similarly, suicide, when we are studying tomorrow, something which was extremely psychological. Suicide is a personal case. How can it be social? It becomes completely social. Because you commit suicide because of social reasons. Okay. So, right, rejecting earlier intellectual and psychological theories of religion, rejecting earlier intellectual and psychological theories of religion, Durkheim proposed a distinct sociological explanation. Durkheim proposed a distinct sociological explanation. He considers religion as a social fact. Religion as a social fact. What was division of labor? Social fact. Religion, suicide, social fact. Everything is social fact. He considered religion as a social fact, a phenomena which exists apart from individual, which exists apart from individual and comes into existence its own, and comes into existence its own. Ainenda parayunna sui generis. That is sui generis. His theory of religion, contained in the book inverted comma ledana elementary forms of religious life, elementary forms of religious life, hyphen 1912. He defined religion as listen first and then we can write. What is religion? Unified system of beliefs and practices related to sacred things, that is to say things set apart and forbidden, and those who follow the same beliefs and practices will be united under a single moral community called church, those who adhere to them. If you adhere means follow, strictly follow that beliefs and practices, you will be together and you will be united together. That is integration. You are integrated together. In the heterogeneous world, those who follow the same beliefs and practices will be united. So listen now, one more thing. Religion integrates similarity. You follow the same beliefs and practices. All are following same beliefs and practices. Similarity. So because of similarity, religion integrates you. What about division of labor? You are integrated because you are different. Because interdependence. You do one thing, you do another thing, you are doing another thing, you are doing another thing, you all are different. We like those who resemble us, we are also drawn towards others because they are different. Precisely because they are different. Why? Because it is interdependence, organic solidarity. So religion unites people in terms of similarity. Division of labor unite people in terms of differences. People are different, people have different to offer, and you are interdependent. Definition. Okay, inverted comma. A religion is a unified system of beliefs. A religion is a unified system of beliefs and practices unified system of beliefs and practices related to sacred things. Related to sacred things. Underline cheyu belief practices, sacred things. Comma, That is to say, comma, things set apart and forbidden. Things set apart and forbidden. Full stop. And then continue. Beliefs and practices which unite them into one single moral community. Called a church. Comma, all those who adhere to them. ADHERE. All those who adhere to them. Means all those who strictly follow that beliefs and practices. Adhere. ADHERE. Okay. That's the definition. Single moral community underlines here. Unite them nullad underlines here. Okay, next paragraph. Thus, his conception of religion is based on two parts. One, the compositional aspect. Two, the functional aspect. ഇതാണ് composition part. Beliefs, practices, sacred things. Function ആണ് second part. Unite them. Right. In the first part, religion is a unified system of beliefs and practices related to sacred things. Sacred things are those which are set apart and considered forbidden by the individual. Sacred things are all things connected with supernatural. Sacred things are everything connected with supernatural and are considered fetishes by people. Fetishes എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞാൽ എന്താണെന്ന് നിങ്ങൾക്ക് അറിയാലോ ഇപ്പോൾ. Fetishes by people. നമ്മൾ നേരത്തെ ഫെറ്റിഷസ് എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞത് ഫെറ്റിഷിസം ഓഫ് കമോഡിറ്റി. പ്രൊഡക്റ്റിനാണ് നിങ്ങൾ സെൻസ് ഓഫ് ഡിസ്റ്റൻസ് മെയിൻറ്റെയിൻ ചെയ്യുന്നത്. ഇവിടെ നമ്മൾ നോർമൽ ഗോഡ് ആയിട്ടുള്ള ഡിസ്റ്റൻസ് ആണ് ഉദ്ദേശിക്കുന്നത്. People maintain a sense of distance hello കൊടുത്താൽ മതി ഓഫീസിൽ. Maintain a sense of distance with the sacred things. Durkheim also discusses the importance of beliefs and practices. In the construction of sacred. Beliefs are the system of ideas. Beliefs are the system of ideas which explain the sacred. System of ideas which explain the sacred. Underline say, beliefs are the system of ideas which explain the sacred. These are in the forms of myths or other spiritual ideas. These are in the forms of myths or other spiritual ideas. Practices are the rites, R-I-T-E-S. Practices are the rites or rituals. Rites or rituals which explain the way an individual behave with sacred. Explain the way an individual behave with the sacred. These are in the nature of system of rites which must be observed. System of rites which must be observed while interacting with the sacred. While interacting with the sacred. There are two types of such rites. There are two types of such rites. Positive rites and negative rites. Positive rites are those which help in reducing the distance between individual and sacred. Reducing the distance between individual and sacred. Example on the worshipping. Negative rites help in reinforcing or maintaining the distance between sacred and individual. The distance between sacred and individual. Example, fasting, sacrifice. Next point. Next paragraph at Ediko. The conception of sacred forms. The basis of Durkheim's views about society. Basis of Durkheim's views about society. According to him, society is divided into two parts or two worlds, that is sacred and profane, P-R-O-F-A-N-E, sacred and profane. So for Durkheim, society is divided into sacred and profane. Marx view on society? Marx's view on society, systemic view of society. Economic infrastructure and social superstructure. Sacred and profane. Okay, sacred are the things related to supernatural. Sacred are the things related to supernatural. Profane include everything apart from sacred. Profane include everything apart from sacred. Pinna venengil bracketly you can write later. Okay, you go to a temple, you see the idol, that is sacred. You see a tap for washing your hands, legs, etc. That is profane. Everything else, just an example. Okay? Out of bracket lo pinna ezhudhiya madi idu. These two worlds are mutually exclusive. These two worlds are mutually exclusive. എന്ന് വെച്ചാൽ എന്താ, നിങ്ങൾ ഗോഡായിരിക്കുമ്പോൾ നിങ്ങൾക്ക് മനുഷ്യനായിരിക്കാൻ പറ്റില്ല, മനുഷ്യനായിരിക്കുമ്പോൾ നിങ്ങൾക്ക് ഗോഡായിരിക്കാനും പറ്റില്ല. A person or object cannot be a member of both. Cannot be a member of both at the same time. One world has to be relinquished, relinquished. One world has to be relinquished for entering into another. മറ്റേ ഒരു ഇതുണ്ടായില്ലേ, സമാധിയാവാൻ പോകുന്നു, ഇവിടെ നിന്ന് വിട്ടിട്ട് ഞാൻ വേറെ ലോകത്തിലേക്ക് പോകുന്നു. കഴിഞ്ഞ വർഷമല്ലേ ഒരു സമാധി. ഓക്കെ, അതാണ് ആ relinquished എന്ന് ഉദ്ദേശിച്ചത്. ഓക്കെ, നെക്സ്റ്റ് causal theory of causal explanation of religion. Causal theory of religion, causal explanation of religion. In order to develop a causal functional theory, in order to develop a causal functional theory of religion, Durkheim uses the method of indirect experiment. Uses the method of indirect experiment, sometimes referred to as single case experiment. Sometimes referred to as single case experiment. Rendu underline cheyana, indirect experiment ennalladum, that itself can be a 10 marker. Single case experiment. According to him, modern religion is complex and full of heterogeneities. Modern religion is complex and full of heterogeneities. Establishing its cause is very difficult. Establishing its cause is very difficult. But at the same time, simpler forms of religions exist. Simpler forms of religion exist. If the cause of such simpler form is established, if the cause of such simpler form is established, same will be the cause of modern religion. Same will be the cause of modern religion. അത് അണ്ടർലൈൻ ചെയ്യൂ. ഇഫ് ദ കോസ് ഓഫ് സിംപ്ലർ ഫോം ഓഫ് എലിമെൻ്ററി ഫോം, എന്താ ഇത്, സിംപ്ലർ ഫോം എസ്റ്റാബ്ലിഷ്, സെയിം വിൽ ബി അതാണ് ഇൻഡയറക്റ്റ് എക്സ്പെരിമെൻറ്റ്. ഓക്കെ, സെയിം വിൽ ബി ദ കോസ് ഓഫ് മോഡേൺ റിലീജിയൻ എന്നല്ല എഴുതിയേ, എന്താ എഴുതിയ, മോഡേൺ റിലീജിയൻ. ഓക്കെ, ദസ് he chose simpler form or elementary forms. അതാണ് ആ ബുക്ക് നെയിം, elementary form of religious life. Okay, simpler form or elementary form to develop his causal functional theories. This method has been referred by him as what? What? Indirect experiment. So what is indirect experiment? Instead of studying a complex form, you study the simpler form. Same will be the cause. Next paragraph. He chose a primitive religion. Practiced among Arunta tribes of Pacific Ocean region by referring to various ethnographies. He chose these people because in his view no human society could be more simply structured and therefore their religion cannot be explained in terms of further reducible forms. Next line. The religion practiced in this tribe is totemic. T-O-T-E-M-I-C. Inverted comma idana. Totemic. Here, a totem is worshipped. Like animals, river, etc. Could be anything. It could be mountain, it could be tree, it could be a stone, it could be cow, it could be anything. Okay, that's what you mean by totemic. Totem is considered sacred and all people worship the same totem. It represents the identity of the clan. Clan ഉദ്ദേശിക്കുന്ന ഒരു particular group ആണ്. We'll discuss more later in paper 2. കാസ്റ്റിൻ്റെ ഒരു താഴേക്ക് വരുന്ന ഒരു സെഗ്മെൻ്റ് ആണ് ക്ലാൻ, ഒരു ഗ്രൂപ്പ്. According to Durkheim, if the cause of the totem is established, same will be the cause of religion. So what he did, he found the Arunta tribes and the religion practiced among them was totemic, and according to him establish the cause of the totem, same will be the cause of religion. That is what? Indirect experiment. Right. In order to explain the cause of totem, Durkheim construct the view of a primitive society. Durkheim constructed the view of a primitive society again on the basis of ethnographies. Again on the basis of ethnographies. Next paragraph at Ediko. According to him, primitive men were wanderers. WANDERERS. Primitive men were wanderers. They kept on moving from one place to another. They kept on moving from one place to another in search of food and other things. They kept on moving from one place to another in search of food and other things. Occasionally they come together for some purpose. Occasionally they come together for some purpose. These occasional gatherings were the venues for exchanging basic things. Full stop. They met each other, talked, celebrate, sing, dance together, whatever you want you can write. They celebrated. In exam you can only write they celebrate. Beyond that you don't have time or space. Here we can write anything. They feel something different. But the feeling disappears when they are alone. Durkheim terms this feeling as what? State of exaltation or collective effervescence. State of exaltation or collective effervescence. EFFERVENCES. Effervescence. And other inverted, single inverted comma. State of exaltation and collective effervescence. Rendu underline cheyi. Primitive man explained these feelings. In terms of a force. Which exists when they are together. This belief in supernatural force finds mention in various ethnographies, and has been termed differently. Next sentence. Termed differently. അതായത് ഈ സൂപ്പർ നാച്ചുറൽ ഫോഴ്സിന് പല പല പേരാണ്. ചിലതിൽ മന എന്നായിരിക്കും, അങ്ങനെ ഓരോ പേരുകളായിരിക്കും കൊടുക്കുന്നത്. They feel a strong desire to re-experience that feeling. Strong desire to re-experience that feeling. Thus, okay, അത് അണ്ടർലൈൻ ചെയ്യും, desire to re-experience the feeling. So അവിടെ struggle for existence, ഇവിടെ desire to re-experience that feeling. Thus primitive men created a totem. Thus primitive men created a totem as a representative of the supernatural force and that feeling. Supernatural force and that feeling. The totem is treated as sacred. The totem is treated as sacred. And when people worship, the totem is treated as sacred, and when people assembled to worship the totem, the same feeling experienced. So എന്താ അവർ പറയുന്നത്? You created a totem as a representative of the supernatural force, and this totem is considered as sacred, and when you again come back, you experience the same feeling. Next paragraph. Thus Durkheim established the cause of totem. So നമ്മൾ നേരത്തെ എന്താ പറഞ്ഞ, if cause of the totem is established, same will be the cause of religion. So അതാണ് cause of religion. Thus Durkheim established the cause of totem. He further states if it is at once the symbol of God and society, is it not because God and society are the same? God and society are the same. എന്താ ഉദ്ദേശിച്ച്? നിങ്ങൾ എന്തിനാണ് ആ ടോട്ടം ക്രിയേറ്റ് ചെയ്തത്? ഫോർ ദാറ്റ് ഫീലിംഗ്, ഫോർ ദാറ്റ് സൂപ്പർ നാച്ചുറൽ ഫോഴ്സ്. സൂപ്പർ നാച്ചുറൽ ഫോഴ്സ് ആണ് എന്ത്? സേക്രഡ്, ഗോഡ്. അതുപോലെ ആ ഫീലിംഗ് ആണ് എന്ത്? കളക്ടിവിറ്റി. സോ ആ ടോട്ടം സിഗ്നിഫൈ ചെയ്യുന്നത് രണ്ടിനെയുമാണ്, കളക്ടിവിറ്റിനെയുമാണ്, ഗോഡിനെയുമാണ്. ഇഫ് ദാറ്റ് ഇസ് ദ കേസ്, ഡോണ്ട് യു തിങ്ക് ദാറ്റ് സൊസൈറ്റി ആൻഡ് ഗോഡ് ആർ ദ സെയിം? യെസ്. സോ യു ആർ ഗോയിങ് ഫോർ ടുഗെദർനെസ്, യു ആർ ഗോയിങ് ഫോർ കളക്ടിവിറ്റി, നോട്ട് ഓൺലി ഫോർ വർഷിപ്പ്. ഇറ്റ്സ് ആക്ച്വലി സെയിം, വൺ ആൻഡ് ദ സെയിം. അതാണ് അവിടെ ഉദ്ദേശിക്കുന്നത്. Ultimately, he proposed that religion is an expression of self-creation. Religion as an expression of self-creation and autonomous development of society. Autonomous development of society. അവിടെ എന്താ ഉദ്ദേശിക്കുന്നത്? Religion comes into existence its own with the autonomous development of society, and it's a social fact. It have its own existence. It is sui generis. Okay. So, division of labor അവസാനം നിങ്ങൾ അങ്ങനെയാണ് പറഞ്ഞിരിക്കുന്നത്. It is not actually the totem which is worshipped. but we worship togetherness or society. എന്നുവെച്ചാൽ എന്താ, നിങ്ങൾ ശരിക്കും ഗോഡിനെ കാണാനൊന്നുമല്ല അമ്പലത്തിലും പള്ളിയിലൊന്നും പോകുന്നത്. You want to meet people, you want to talk to people, you want to have that feelings എന്നാണ് ദുർഖീം പറയുന്നത്. ഓക്കെ, ഡയഗ്രാം വരച്ചോളൂ. അല്ലെങ്കിൽ ഒരു കാര്യം ചെയ്യും, ഡയഗ്രാം നിങ്ങൾ ലാസ്റ്റ് വരക്കുക, അവിടെ സ്പേസ് ഇട്ടിട്ട് ലാസ്റ്റ് വരക്ക് കംപ്ലീറ്റ് ചെയ്യാം. ഫങ്ഷണൽ എക്സ്പ്ലനേഷൻ ഓഫ് റിലിജിയൻ. Functional explanation of religion. So first part of religion definition നമ്മൾ compositional aspect ആയിരുന്നു. Second part function പറയുന്നുണ്ട്. Unified system, you follow the same beliefs and practices, you will be united under a single moral community called a church, all those who adhere to them. അത്രേ ഉള്ളൂ, അതാണ് എഴുതേണ്ടത്. In the heterogeneous world, those who are following the same beliefs and practices, you will be together. Finally, we will also claim one thing, Durkheim. See, science is also beliefs and practices, right? If I talk about physics, there are certain beliefs, there are certain practices. Chemistry also same. So for Durkheim, science is a modern religion. Those who follow the same beliefs and practices, you will be united there. Physicist or chemist, like that community. Just, so there was a question also, science as modern religion. So this is in fact picked from Durkheim. That's why I have added towards the end how it is connected, because science also based on certain beliefs and practices. Any field of science, any branch of knowledge if you take, it's based on some beliefs and practices. So you follow that, you belong to that community. So modern religion, according to Durkheim. Right, in the second part of the definition, Durkheim highlight the integrative role of religion. Durkheim highlight the integrative role of religion. Underline the integrative role of religion. Full stop. Right. The beliefs and practices related to sacred bind people into a single community. അത് അണ്ടർലൈൻ ചെയ്യൂ. ബൈൻഡ് പീപ്പിൾ ഇൻ ടു എ സിംഗിൾ കമ്മ്യൂണിറ്റി. ഡെഫിനേഷനിൽ മോറൽ കമ്മ്യൂണിറ്റി എന്നുണ്ട്, വേണമെന്നുണ്ടെങ്കിൽ നിങ്ങൾക്ക് അങ്ങനെ എഴുതാം. കമ്മ്യൂണിറ്റിയും എല്ലാം സെയിം ആണ്. People follow the similar moral code and live together as a collectivity. നിങ്ങൾക്ക് മനസ്സിലായോ എങ്ങനെയാണ് ഇൻ്റഗ്രേഷൻ എന്നുള്ളത്? യു ഫോളോ ദ സെയിം ബിലീഫ്സ് പ്രാക്ടീസസ് ടുഗെദർ. ഒരേ ദൈവത്തിൽ വിശ്വസിക്കുന്ന ആൾക്കാർ ഒരുമിച്ചാണ്. ഇപ്പോൾ പണ്ടൊക്കെ ആണെന്നുണ്ടെങ്കിൽ ഒരേ ഏരിയയിലായിരിക്കും ജീവിക്കുന്നത്, ഒരു ക്ലസ്റ്റർ പോലെ. ഇപ്പോഴും അതേ, ചില ഏരിയാസിലൊക്കെ അങ്ങനെ തന്നെയാണ്. ഇവിടെ ഈ ആഗ്രഹാരമുണ്ട്, മറ്റേ ഭീമാപ്പള്ളിയുടെ ഏരിയാസൊക്കെ ഉണ്ടല്ലോ. കളക്ടിവിറ്റി, ടുഗെദർ ആസ് എ കളക്ടിവിറ്റി, ഒരുമിച്ച് അവർ ജീവിക്കുന്നുള്ളത്. Right, in the societies having mechanical solidarity, the religion represent the collective conscience. And integrate all in terms of similarity. In the modern society, although the control of collective conscience is reduced, the control of collective conscience is reduced, but still religion integrate people as even the heterogeneous population tend to live together if following same religion. If heterogeneous population tend to live together if following same religion. See, ഇവിടെ എന്താ പറയാൻ ഉദ്ദേശിക്കുന്ന ട്രഡീഷണൽ സൊസൈറ്റി പീപ്പിൾ ആർ ലൈക്ക് എല്ലാവരും ഒരേപോലെയാണ്, ഹോമോജിനസ് പോപ്പുലേഷൻ ആണ്, അപ്പോൾ റിലീജിയൻ ആണ് അവിടെ കളക്റ്റീവ് കോൺഷ്യൻസ്, സിമിലാരിറ്റി ആണ്, എല്ലാവരും ഒരേപോലെയാണ്, യു ആർ ടുഗെദർ. പക്ഷെ മോഡേൺ സൊസൈറ്റിയിൽ എല്ലാവരും ഒരേപോലെയാണോ? ഓൾ ഓഫ് യു ആർ ഡിഫറെൻറ്റ്. Doctors, engineers, different professionals, income level also different, but still if you are following the same religion, despite all these differences, you have some togetherness. But multiple religion, that is different. I am talking about those who follow the same. If we all are following same religion, despite all other inequalities between us, different professions, different income, but still we'll be together because we all follow the same beliefs and practices. Okay, now നിങ്ങൾ ഇത് വേണമെങ്കിൽ മാർജിനിൽ എഴുതി വെച്ചോ. ഹിയർ മനസ്സിലാക്കിയിട്ട് എഴുതി നിങ്ങളുടെ ഓൺ വേർഡ്സിൽ. ഡിവിഷൻ ഓഫ് ലേബർ ഇൻറ്റഗ്രേറ്റ് പീപ്പിൾ ഇൻ ടേംസ് ഓഫ് ഡിഫറൻസസ്, റിലീജിയൻ ഇൻറ്റഗ്രേറ്റ് പീപ്പിൾ ഇൻ ടേംസ് ഓഫ് സിമിലാരിറ്റി. ഇവിടെ എന്തുകൊണ്ടാണ് ഇൻറ്റഗ്രേഷൻ ഉള്ളത്? എല്ലാവരും സിമിലർ ബിലീഫ് ആൻഡ് പ്രാക്ടീസസ് ഉണ്ട്, അപ്പോൾ സിമിലാരിറ്റി. ഡിവിഷൻ ഓഫ് ലേബറിൽ ഡിഫറെൻ്റ് ആണ്, അവിടെ ഇൻ്റർ ഡിപ്പെൻഡൻസ് കൊണ്ടാണ് നമ്മൾ വി സീക്ക് ഇൻ അതേഴ്സ് വാട്ട് വി ലാക്ക് ഇൻ അവർ സെൽഫ്. സോ ഡിവിഷൻ ഓഫ് ലേബർ ഇൻറ്റഗ്രേറ്റ് പീപ്പിൾ വിത്ത് ദ ഡിഫറൻസസ് ബിക്കോസ് ഓഫ് ഇൻ്റർ ഡിപ്പെൻഡൻസ്, ആൻഡ് ദാറ്റ് ഇൻ്റർ ഡിപ്പെൻഡൻസ് ഇസ് ഫങ്ഷണൽ. അവിടെ ഒരു ഇൻ്റർ ഡിപ്പെൻഡൻസ് ക്രിയേറ്റ് ചെയ്യാണ്, ഓർഗാനിക് നേച്ചർ ക്രിയേറ്റ് ചെയ്യാണ്. ഹിയർ എവ്രി വൺ ഇസ് സിമിലർ, അതുകൊണ്ട് നമ്മൾ ഒരുമിച്ചാണ്. സോ റിലീജിയൻ ഇൻറ്റഗ്രേറ്റ് പീപ്പിൾ ഇൻ ടേംസ് ഓഫ് സിമിലാരിറ്റി, ഡിവിഷൻ ഓഫ് ലേബർ ഇൻറ്റഗ്രേറ്റ് പീപ്പിൾ ഇൻ ടേംസ് ഓഫ് ഡിഫറൻസസ്. ഇതൊക്കെ ഇമ്പോർട്ടൻ്റ് ആയിട്ടുള്ള പോയിന്റ്സ് ആണ് നിങ്ങൾക്ക് വെൻ യു ആർ റൈറ്റിംഗ് ദ എക്സാം. ഇതാണ് കോൺസെപ്ച്വൽ ക്ലാരിറ്റി ആക്ച്വലി. Thus, in contemporary societies, where the societies are multi-religious, religion tend to integrate people. Religion tend to integrate people within various communities, thereby stabilizing society. Within various communities, thereby stabilizing society. Further, Durkheim also explained the growing popularity of science. Durkheim also explained the growing popularity of science. He considered science as set of beliefs and practices. That underline says science as set of beliefs and practices. People pursuing science tend to associate with each other in terms of these beliefs and practices. Thus generating new states of collectivities. In this context, he even states that science is modern religion. Inverted commas irne, science is modern religion. എന്തെങ്കിലും റിപ്പീറ്റ് ചെയ്യേണ്ട ആവശ്യമുണ്ടോ? ഡെഫിനിഷൻ, റിലീജിയൻ ഇസ് എ സിസ്റ്റം ഓഫ് യൂണിഫൈഡ് സിസ്റ്റം ഓഫ് ബിലീഫ്സ് ആൻഡ് പ്രാക്ടീസസ്. ബിലീഫ് എന്താണെന്ന് മനസ്സിലായി, പ്രാക്ടീസ് എന്താണെന്ന് മനസ്സിലായി. പ്രാക്ടീസസ് എന്ന് പറയുന്ന വർഷിപ്പ് അല്ലെങ്കിൽ നെഗറ്റീവ് ഉണ്ട്, പോസിറ്റീവ് ഉണ്ട്, ആൻഡ് ദാറ്റ് ഈസ് റിലേറ്റഡ് ടു സേക്രഡ് തിങ്സ്. സേക്രഡ് എന്താണെന്ന് മനസ്സിലായി, സൂപ്പർ നാച്ചുറൽ. അതർ ദാൻ സൂപ്പർ നാച്ചുറൽ, പ്രൊഫൈൻ. Sacred, which are set apart and forbidden. Then the second part of the definition, that is a functional aspect. Those who are together or those who are following the same beliefs and practices will be united. ഇത് വരച്ചോ. ഞാൻ ഒന്നുകൂടെ എക്സ്പ്ലെയിൻ ചെയ്യാൻ എന്നിട്ട് പിന്നെ ഞാൻ പോവാലോ. പ്രിമിറ്റീവ് പീപ്പിൾ വെർ വാൻഡറേഴ്സ്, സ്പെല്ലിംഗ് മിസ്റ്റേക്ക് ഉണ്ടാവരുത്. ഓക്കെ. ആൻഡ് ഒക്കേഷണലി കം ടുഗെദർ, കുഴപ്പമില്ലല്ലോ, കണ്ടാൽ മനസ്സിലാവും. സ്റ്റേറ്റ് ഓഫ് എക്സാൾട്ടേഷൻ, കളക്റ്റീവ് എഫർവെസൻസ്, ഇത് വിട്ടേക്ക്, ഇത് ഇവിടെ വേണ്ട, ഇവിടെ ഉണ്ട്. ഓക്കെ. Okay, and that feeling disappears when they are separate. വേണമെങ്കിൽ നിങ്ങൾ ഇവിടെ തന്നെ എഴുതിക്കോ, എക്സ്പ്ലെയിൻഡ് ത്രൂ സൂപ്പർ നാച്ചുറൽ ഫോഴ്സ്, എക്സ്പ്ലെയിൻഡ് ത്രൂ സൂപ്പർ നാച്ചുറൽ ഫോഴ്സ് ആൻഡ് നീഡ് ടു റീ എക്സ്പീരിയൻസ് ദ ഫീലിംഗ്, ക്രിയേഷൻ ഓഫ് ടോട്ടം, കോസ് ഓഫ് റിലീജിയൻ. വരച്ചോളൂ അല്ലേ? വേറെ ഡൗട്ടൊന്നുമില്ലല്ലോ? ഓക്കെ.